We're here at Coconut Grove because all of the shops are closed, and I understand they've been closed for a number of years now, some 7 years or more. And the question really is why? Because it was once a thriving market. I mean, it was a market, I think, that was started from back when Danny Melville was part of the industry, right?
Early days.
And that's a good location.
Yeah.
It's right across from a hotel.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why we decided to bring the party here as well today. Because, you know, the outcry of the craft traders for a long time is it's very baffling that you would have craft markets in a thriving tourism economy shutting down.
Yes.
So that Coconut Grove got to a point where it was no longer sustainable, even though we have a booming tourism sector. And so, you know, that this is something that attention needs to be brought. You know,
Yes.
we need to bring this to the attention of our next government. You know, because obviously, as you said,
HTA, they did a survey, their own survey, where they said that that survey showed that their salaries are on par, you know, and that while there are areas that need some growth and some improvement, right, on the whole, that your salaries are competitive. What do you think about that?
We met with them and they actually took us through their survey. I think some of the respondents in that survey were responding after recent adjustments resulting from the spate of unrest. And yes, I mean, I think it's true that there is no standardization in the industry, and you have some hotels that are doing quite well in terms of their compensation paid to workers, and you have others which are not. And the question really is, well, you know, what mechanism is going to be put in place to ensure that the playing field is really leveled and that all of our tourism workers are earning a reasonable amount from their service to the industry. Yeah.
Because other markets, some are expanding, others close. What happened is that at the time this was built, really what you had
direct business.
was direct business from hotels nearby.
Right.
As time has progressed, what has happened is that the cruise passengers are the real
Customers.
So now you find when one of your big ships land with 4,000 or 5,000 people coming off, people get the advantage. What has happened in Ocho Rios now is that I would say that the cruise business has dropped maybe 60%. With the moving of the ships, most of the ships have gone, or a number of them have gone to farmers. And those that are here, you know, like today, I understand the ship that was coming in, the weather is rough.
They didn't
come. And so it has, you have had for the last, this happened 10 months ago in February.
of the larger craft markets aside from Dunn's River. And I think one of the common thread that you're going to hear is the lack of business coming into these markets despite the influx of tourists, whether through the cruise or
certainly
through the...
at Dunn's River. That was a big. They articulated that very passionately to us.
You're going to hear that across the board of all the others, which I suspect, I don't, Comrade McNeil, or I don't know that the cruise fare, the lack of it, the absence would have been,
the only reason.
The only reason, even the most significant reason.
But it has probably exacerbated it, though.
Right.
Yes, definitely made it worse. And it's something that I spoken to Pastor a little bit. It's something I've said to him that has to be a discussion with the leader of the opposition as we intend to have to manage the problems going on.
The problems are long-term, and we need long-term solution. We can't offer a band-aid solution. I think, over the years, that's basically what has been presented.
At the craft market that we visited first, which was Dunn's River Falls, there was an infrastructure issue there that was raised by some of the vendors where there's some drainage problem where the drain is basically fully blocked, so they flood out when there's rain. So I think UDC need to have a look at that.
One my thoughts are always a concern on the tongues of many residents. I'm also concerned because I use several markets in St. Anne, and there have been concerns about the drainage for infrastructure. Now, recently we have the minister visited, and the situation remains the same. I've revisited the markets, and there's no solution. Any comment on that?
Well, I have visited the Ocho Rios market myself, and it's a muddy, dirty kind of environment, which is not really.
40 in the cabinet that right before we passed up a craft, the Development Council, a policy document on craft industry, which was approved by the National Council. And in it, we started what was going to the Craft Council, which started meeting in 2014. And that Craft Council included the presidents of all the craft markets. It included Edna Manley School, included the Shipping Association. All these things were on it. And what happened is that in the first year, we put $80 million into the Craft Council, because what we believe is that it's always good to help people develop an industry, but when it's going to work is when they develop it for themselves. So we put an industry in place that they would have funding, they could develop a plan, and we were going to fix the infrastructure.
Fresh and look good, Market G. Market G to the people. You look good, Market G. Market G. Of course. Hello. Market G. As you can see, we don't get much business. The business are a challenge. Yeah, that's we have reached out, done a little marketing, reach out to persons, send letters to the hotels, and try to engage them into sending. We get our guests from sandals, second hand. When you say second hand, what do you mean? They have to go somewhere else before they come here. And that's,
Oh, you mean they send them somewhere else first?
Yes. It depends on the tour.
Yes, but they got a shopping tour that comes out like once per week.
And you're at the end of the tour.
Yes. But that's what we've been sort of hanging on to that for the longest while, and we appreciate it. It's, but it's better than nothing.
So let me ask you, how many shops do you have in here?
Alright, in here we have 160 shops.
Wow.
And we have almost 200 traders.
160 shops, 200 traders. Wow. All the shops are open?
Because persons just can't take it anymore, and them go and get a job here and there. The rent is climbing, but then persons just are not patient anymore to stay. So then it's operated by UDC.
And so when tourist season is in its height, most of the business.
It is about 30 years old.
And you've been here?
And I've been here for the last 23 years. 23 years. My mom was in it, and I took it up. It's a beautiful
indigenous vendors.
craft is a beautiful support. Tourism is a beautiful job. It's something that I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't change it for no job else. Just to work for me. To get more out of it.
Right.
My daughter says it's not a job, mommy, it's a hobby. My daughter says it's not a job, it's a hobby. But for me, it's my love.
Okay.
It's my love. So we just
you have to get taken care of, because the reality is if you can't get business.
it don't make any sense.
And your mother was in that before?
My mother was in it. My mother
Ever since?
ever since.
So it's a generational thing.
Yes. Craft is a generational thing.
What is your daughter doing now?
My daughter is in the tech.
Well, it's because of your hard work.
The whole matter of transitioning from, you say, your mother to you to your daughter. I know there's an issue with UDC
yes.
that is concerned. You want to speak a little bit to that?
Well, we were having a problem with the lease agreement we had with UDC. They said that, well, I understand it, that you don't own the property. The business is what you own. So they're saying that you cannot transfer it. But when they do say that, we still get transfers. But I mean, I think they're tightening up a little.
So there's a time when you could transfer normally.
And there are times when they don't.
Yeah. So
Is it because whether you owe some arrears or anything like that?
I don't think it has to do with
Okay.
areas because
Okay.
if you're going to transfer a shop, you wouldn't be able to hold
Right.
anything on it.
Yes.
Because I have some in the back burner.
That contract issue that was
It's
a
not
problem.
been dealt with as yet.
Okay.
Has
What
not
does that
been
mean?
dealt
Is that positive or negative? Is
It's
it-
negative because we want to move forward. We want to know where we stand.
Yeah.
We want to know where we stand with movies.
So what's their argument? That they don't want people to pass it on to their...
Yes, that's in the contract that it cannot